Potpourri.
Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakken here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations, exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 57, then Thursday, increasing clouds with a high of 78. Spend your summer with some of the hottest musical acts around at Crooner's Supper Club in Fridley. Crooner's is located just north of I-694 off Highway 65 and Moore Lake Drive. Visit croonersmn.com to view their schedules and food menus.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story, this is our story. This is GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakken.
And this is GhostBox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakken. Thank you very much for joining us on this first Wednesday in June. Boy, it's a beautiful day out today. Man, that was a lot of fun. We had Ghost Stories and Beyond tonight at Billy's Bar and Grill in Anoka. And beforehand, Char Savoy and I, we had dinner outside of a different restaurant as it happened. Just a beautiful night. And I want to talk about Billy's in a second here. But it was really, really fun, and it was really cool. Meanwhile, in Prairie, we do have Adam with us tonight. How are you doing tonight, Adam?
Doing well tonight, sir. And you're right; it was an absolutely gorgeous day out, and it's turned into a nice night as well.
It's a beautiful night. It's a beautiful day to work in the basement, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and all the weird noises that come with it.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second. We got some very important information to get to first. Doug in the chat right away says, "Hi, Adam."
Hello, Doug.
Perhaps he forgot how to spell my name or something, and that's fine. And Courtney says hello, so thank you all very much. You know, it's a bit like how do we turn on this computer? We haven't done a show since Friday. It's been really a heck of a couple weeks here. Lots of work, lots of stuff going on. It's busy all around, and we were going to have a great show about haunted Las Vegas on Tuesday, but CL Thomas, who is our guest for that night, she ended up getting COVID, and so obviously she's like, "Do you mind if we cancel?" "No, you have to do it." Now, of course, we'll get you a new date. That's not a problem at all. So we're gonna have her on next week, and we got, like we said, Friday. We have a lot of great things coming up. Tonight we had Ghost Stories and Beyond for June, and we talked Bigfoot tonight. And I mean, there's stories that honestly we've shared before. You know the stories, so we're not going to get into them. But what was really fun tonight were the questions that people had. People had really good questions, and I do we're so close to this stuff, and we have our own opinion on what everything is, that there's some really good questions out there that kind of remind you once in a while that that not even to see things in a different way, but be able to understand where other people are coming from, and that was really important. One of the things I wanted to mention, though, that I thought was really pretty cool, and I hope she doesn't mind me bringing this up, a good friend Lisa, who we've investigated with. She's been on, like, when we did the 300 Clifton Halloween special, she was one of the investigators, and last week she retired. Now, we were at Ghost Stories tonight, and at the end of it, she was sitting in her chair, and she looked down, and there was this really, really little, like, a cardboard thing, or something, like it's like something you get like Party City or something, but like not even like a half of inch long and a quarter inch tall or something like that, that just like appeared on the floor in front of her. And you know what it said, Adam?
What did it say?
Happy retirement.
Oh God, that's awesome.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, because I know that every time that place is used, Billy's goes through, they vacuum everything up. So yeah, wow, that's nuts.
It's sitting right in front of her, where she's just like, "What is this?" And it's like, "Happy retirement." I love this, and that's just, and you know what? If whoever's listening out there and they're just like, "Oh, well, that could be a number of different things," that's fair. Absolutely, whatever works for you. But you know what? There's sometimes we all need a little magic in the world, right? And this is really what it is. And I'm really, that was wonderful. And I had an idea of who dropped it. I'm not going to say, because it's not my place. I had some thoughts, but I just had some thoughts on it, and I don't know, but it was I thought it was really cool, and I loved that. I love that a lot. Just because nobody cares, but I'm going to tell you all anyway. I'm going to get you into my private life here a little bit, and you don't even know this. I'm getting a cat.
Yay!
I'm getting a cat on Monday.
You're cat daddy again.
I'll be. This is a cat that is going to need to be rehomed, and she is mature. She is 12 years old, and so, but she needs. She's coming from a good family. The reason why she needs to be rehomed is a good reason, but they really questioned me about my living situation, why I'd like her, all this stuff. I mean, I feel like that that was something that is very important, that they were really into making sure that she got a good home. I'm going to get her on Monday, but I also had to ask somebody. You just don't make these, we don't just make these decisions on our own. I had to ask someone and get permission. And I asked Linus, and I took out the pendulum, and I'm just, I knew what, ask what yes is, what no is. And every time I do, it's like Linus, and the pendulum just gets the swing. Cause for me, a yes is a swing, like a circular swing counterclockwise. And whenever I try to talk to Linus, the swing gets massively big. There's no reason for it to just do that. But that's what it is. And it's Linus. He's so excited to talk. And I'm like, first of all, I believe that he set this up. And secondly, I just asked him, are you okay with this? And just a big yes. And so, friend of mine, Liz, she had seen in the Elk River Facebook page that there's a little kitty named Puff that needed to be rehomed, and that she was 12 years old. And when she saw it, she said that my name flashed in her eyes, just flashed. And she's like, I think that's Linus that's telling me to tell you this. And I believe it 100%, because I believe I mentioned on the program, Linus's original owner was saying all this stuff about some like alarm system going off in their house when the alarm was disarmed. And she's wondering, what is this? Is this like some kind of ghost thing or whatever? And I was going to type like, just be careful, this is what you need to do. But before I typed, Linus's name just flashed in my face. And I think, I think that's him. And I've been talking to people and I say, I think he is one individual who really, really understood how to make the afterlife work. He's everywhere. He is everywhere. And I'm much richer for it. I really am. I'm so happy that I have this cat that meant everything to me, that makes a lot of appearances. And I told him, if I get Puff here, if they allow me Puff, that doesn't mean you go away. That doesn't mean that this ends. You need to still be around. So it was a very emotional couple days, because that and the idea of getting a cat after Linus, to some might just be like, well, I need another cat. I want another cat. That's the decision. For me, it was very emotional. I'm not going to lie. It also doesn't help the fact that Monday was the 10th anniversary of my father's passing. So, it was just very emotionally charged, but it's all good. It is all good. And I'm grateful, and I'm going to pick her up Monday. She sounds just nothing like all she is a love bug, is all she is. She just wants to just snuggle. She just wants to be she's not running around. She's just a beautiful little girl that we're going to bring into the house here and give her the best life we possibly can. So I'm excited about that. It's wonderful. So
awesome. That is fantastic.
Thank you. I'm just I'm over the moon, quite frankly. I'm a little worried. I mean, it's only been 7 months since I've had, Linus, but I'm just really like, what do I do again? I need to do a bunch of stuff here, kind of get it ready. And it's a big deal for me. So I'm really excited about it. So,
well, if you need any tips, you can call our local St. Francis of Assisi, Dave, from Deb and Dave, and he can give you all the animal advice you may need, because he brings in everything too.
I mean, Wisconsin Dr. Doolittle.
Exactly. Yes. But congratulations. And of course, Linus was going to be all for it. I think Linus has been hitting at it for a little bit personally.
He may have been, but I think we had to find the right, and it sounds so silly to say, like, the right story, for the cat, like what is this? I mean, so, it's exciting. Joanne says, what color? I don't know. No, I mean, it's white and black. I mean, that's kind of the classic Bakken cat color, except Linus was gray and white. So yeah, no, it's fantastic. Do you want to know something else that's fantastic, Adam?
What is that, sir?
I can't go into much detail, but yesterday I visited a location that I have not been this excited about in a location in Minneapolis in so long. And there is more information to come. I don't really know how much I can say, but I do know I can say something. That the Minneapolis Trolley Tour, John and Norman, have bought another location where the trolleys are going to come out of. It's no longer after July, into July, it's no longer going to come out of the 300 Clifton. The 300 Clifton is still going to be operating as a bed and breakfast, and they're going to do other stuff there. But they got this incredible location that is, I think, probably going to be one of the most haunted situations that we have ever experienced. The story behind this place is phenomenal. I mean, is phenomenal. And I went in there last night. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was overload of sensory. Just it's so it's such a unique location, such a unique story behind it. And you have the right people with John and Norman making sure that they're doing renovations to it, but they're not ruining the history. And there is history involved with this location. This location is of something I've never seen before. And walk in there, just overwhelmed by the beauty. Chad and I went there last night, overwhelmed by the beauty. And the first thing John says to me, John from the Minneapolis Trolley Tours, is this: when are you investigating it?
I will clear out my calendar. I will go with whenever. I'm down.
And the thing is, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be, and the way that we're looking at doing it is going to be, I hope, give a lot of people access to it. Of trying to figure out a lot of stuff. But I will say this: if you haven't done the Minneapolis Trolley Tour yet, do so now, because the story is going to be changing. The tour is going to be changing. It's all good. They're both good, but it's like 2 chapters in the story. You want to go to both. You want to check it out. So, and currently you're going to 300 Clifton, which is one of the most beautiful houses, mansions, locations I've ever seen in my life. And once it changes, the story changes, the location changes, and they're onto a new era, and that's going to be fantastic. They know what they're doing over there. That's all I know. They know what they're doing over there, and it is such a pleasure to watch it. And the stuff that they don't think is interesting is the stuff that I want to bring them on to talk about. And I'm being deliberately coy here, because I think that there's a time that we'll really break it open. I took lots of pictures last night of this location, and once I get the okay, we're going to be posting it. We're going to be talking about it. I think our involvement as GhostBox Radio is going to get a little bit bigger with them. We are very blessed to have such amazing partners as them, such amazing partners as I see Deb and Dave in the comments. I mean, we are really just we're just really very fortunate and lucky, and this is where we start combining our partners, in a sense, to try to get everyone to have some really cool experiences that we want to share out with everybody. So stay tuned. This place is history, and this place is going to literally knock your socks off. It is, on so many levels, just a tremendous location, and what they have planned is going to just blow you away. I'm just so excited, Adam. This is going to be so much fun. It's going to be great.
Even with as vague as you've been, I totally want to get into this place, whatever it is, wherever it is.
It's something else, and I want to go into more of it, but it's all good things. Patience is a virtue on this, so it's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll talk a little bit more, maybe a little bit more about it next week, and just kind of keep everyone excited for it. They have a lot of new things going on, and we're going to be talking more about all the tours that they are doing. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's do this. Let's get in our first break. When we come back, we're going to be talking with Savannah Meyer. We're going to be talking about an event that's coming up this weekend. Going to be talking about Baraboo, Wisconsin. And I'm surprised a lot of people who I thought knew about the paranormal were asking, what's going on in Baraboo? Well, we're going to tell you about it. Everyone, stick around. We're happy to be back here. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950.
Support comes from Hennepin Arts, presenting Hidden Brain Perceptions Tour with Shankar Vedantam. Are there parts of our minds that are hidden from us? This question launched the Hidden Brain podcast 10 years ago. Now host and creator Shankar Vedantam brings 7 key insights from the first decade of Hidden Brain to the stage. Whether you're new to the show or a longtime listener, this evening of science and storytelling will change how you think about yourself. Tickets available at hennepinarts.org.
It's that time of year again where the weather is getting nice and it's time to get out of the house for some family fun. Lilliput is the perfect place and is open for the season. Be the first to take on their newest escape room, The Bunker. It's intense, exciting, and totally unforgettable. Prefer spooky? Try the Haunted Mansion. When you're done escaping, hit the mini golf course, go-karts, and jump pads. Lilliput is perfect for parties and group events too. Visit lilliput.net for hours and start your spring adventures at Lilliput. Greg Bakken here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations, exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information. And if you are watching us tonight on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakken on Facebook, I would ask if you would consider sending some stars our way. Stars is a great way to mix up the algorithm a little bit to make sure that more people are seeing our broadcast and getting people to be drawn in to watch what we're doing. And that's really what it's all about. Stars come in different, amounts or whatnot, but really appreciate you doing so. If you are able to, really appreciate it. It's a great way to support us. Another way to support us is through our Patreon, where you have access to all the episodes of GhostBox Radio that goes back 10 plus years. Go to patreon.com/GhostBox Radio. One thing I do want to say real fast, and I forgot to do so, we're talking all this great stuff about the Minneapolis Trolley Tour. To book tickets and to see the different tours they have going on, go to MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com. I want to make sure that you do that. You're probably like, I'd love to go. How do I go and book a tour? Go to MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com. They have more than just the ghost tours. There's a lot of great things going on there. We'll be talking more about them here in the coming weeks. So stick around for that. I am happy to say we have Savannah on the line. Savannah, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing very well. Now, we've been talking about, over the past few months, we've been talking about the Ecto Cruise, and there's an event going on out in Baraboo, Wisconsin this weekend. I'm going to be out there Friday night. We're going to do the show live from there. But Savannah, I'd like you to kind of talk a little bit about what to expect this weekend, please.
What to expect? So there's a series of events that anyone can attend. Some of the events you do have to pay for. So overall, Ecto Cruise is free, but some of the events you do have to pay for.
That's fine. What kind of events? What are some of the paid events that you're offering out there?
So you do have to pay for like the Haunted Mansion tour at El Ringling Mansion. You do have to pay for a haunted tour at the Old Baraboo Inn, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And this week I had last week, right before Des Moines Con started, I had a conversation with Shelly over at the Old Baraboo Inn, and that was that place is, I've never been, but I've heard that this place is absolutely legit. And if you were out in that area before, right? Have you investigated Old Baraboo Inn before?
So I have not, but I have heard that it is very, I don't know the word, alive
Haunted?
or whatever you want to say. But a lot is going on there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so the stuff that is free, like Friday, for example, I'm going to be out there and we're going to do the show at the normal time. We're going to do it live from the location. And as far as what else is happening Friday that's free for people to check out?
So we're going to be at the El Ringling Mansion. So you can come in, see Greg. You can stare at him while he does the show. I think that'd be funny.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But
You want people to show up. You don't want to scare them away.
well, okay. But you can watch the show with us, or you can go take a haunted mansion tour. That does cost money. You can take photos with the ectos.
Mm-hmm. And explain what that is for people. What is that for people who don't know?
Okay. It is like the Ghostbuster car.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everyone has a different variation. So it's really fun to see everyone bring their different variation of the ecto.
That's cool. That's going to be a lot of fun to see out there. And you and Doug, do you both dress in the Ghostbox? My God, there's more than Ghostbox in the world. Ghostbusters uniform and stuff, don't you?
Correct. So he will wear his flight suit. I don't know if he will wear it that night. He will probably wear it Saturday morning when we do the greet and meet at the Baraboo Children's Museum.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
And then I have a dress. Okay.
All right. Like a Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I know. You kind of have to wrap your head around that a little bit.
I'm like, okay, and feel free to give me more information. But okay, no, I'm with you now.
It's just basically a khaki dress with a patch on it.
Okay, very cool.
That's basically it.
Very cool.
You will see it in person. It will be just that.
That's awesome. I'm really excited for this, and it's such a wonderful area. And I've actually had people like, "Where's Baraboo?" I guess I even before I got into paranormal, I always thought everyone knew where Baraboo was. And it's like it's right by Wisconsin Dells. It's surprising what people don't know, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's 20 minutes away from the Dells.
Yeah.
Maybe a half hour.
Yeah, no, it's right around there. It's great. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, so it's Friday, there's Saturday. Where can people go to learn more about this so that they can make a decision like, you know what, I want to get away for the weekend. Baraboo sounds like a great place and I want to check this out. Where can people get information on it?
So you can go to our Facebook page. It's just Ecto Cruise. I think you can. I'm just going to look it up myself. Hold on.
I'm pretty sure it is because that's what I've been kind of going off over the last few weeks when we've been talking about it on the air here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the typical Facebook.com and then /Ecto Cruise.
No, that's great. That's great. So, folks, go to Ecto Cruise, check it out. It's not that far away, really. It's nice to get away for the weekend. Come on out, see us, come by, see Savannah, myself, Doug, everyone else, and check out the Ecto Cruisers. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Savannah, I'm so excited for this, and thank you for thinking of me and including me on this. I'm really excited, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody out there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. So I'll see you Friday. And Savannah, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
You're welcome. Have a good night now.
We'll see you in a couple days. So what's interesting here is that's once again, that's Savannah Meyer. She is having an event out in Baraboo, Wisconsin. Go to Ecto Cruise on Facebook. You're going to get all the information. There's a lot of events they're doing and stuff out there. And Savannah is also working over at the Anderson House in Wabasha. We talk about the Anderson, run by my friends Becky and Pays, another wonderfully haunted location. So very excited about that. And in the comments, Psychic Medium, Refined Divine, Deb says, Greg, our hitchhiker was in Baraboo. Remember, he took over our GPS. Baraboo is so haunted. Adam, do you remember that at all? I remember that when they say they like had to call in and tell us about that. That was so cool.
Yeah, I do remember that night. They called in and took over their GPS, and I think they said like it messed with their radio too. And if I remember right, there was an apparition also like seen out in the Baraboo area too. But Baraboo, I mean, I'm not even from this region, and I knew about the hauntings in Baraboo. That town, there is something different about it.
Well, and Shelly was telling me all the stuff that's going on there. And what made me really happy though is that when I was talking with Shelly about it, and the lineage here is that Moon Girl knows they knows Shelly very well. They've done events together, and Moon Girl and I were going to do an event over at Baraboo about 3 years ago. It just never had materialized. And so we're going to do one down the road at some point, Moon Girl and I'd love to get Moon Girl up here from Texas. And, those eerily scary, accurate predictions that she made of a dark 2025, they are coming true. Thank you, Moon Girl. And but Shelly and I were talking, and she was telling me about the place. She was also telling me about what they allow and what they don't allow, and they are very much in the same vein that we all are in, which is making sure that spirit is well taken care of, protected, that we're not doing anything silly in these places. And I can't tell you how happy that makes me, because that sort of thing does get overlooked time to time at different locations. So like that just gets thrown out. We forget that spirit is actually, they're not a side road attraction. They are actually, we're hoping to get some communication, but they shouldn't be a road show. So I'm looking forward to it, Adam. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I think it's going to be a blast for you, and definitely bring back some pictures of the Baraboo Inn, because that is a place I've been wanting to get into for the longest time.
Yeah, no, that's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to hang out with Savannah and Doug and all their friends. And, they're doing some really wonderful work. And I'm just really excited. It's nice to have these great conversations, and seeing that Deb and Dave are in the chat. I'm excited because next week we are going to have one question readings with Deb, and I am so excited because it's just, once again, it feels like it's only been a couple weeks, but it feels like forever, and I'm just excited because people are going to benefit from this. Good one question readings and get some good direction and answers. I'm all for it. So I'm a lot of good things. I'm just in, even though I said it's an emotional week, Adam, it's been a good week, and I'm just in a good mood because things are really, I just feel like I'm just seeing nothing but the good in people. And that is a rarity. I'm sorry. But it just feels good because there's just a lot of good people doing good things right now. And I'm just very blessed to just be watching and knowing and all that good stuff. So I'm happy.
And I think a lot of that started over the weekend. We had some really great conversations.
There were, and I was going to ask you, because we're talking about Des Moines Con, and we did a live from Des Moines Con, a live show on Friday, and that was just one day. And we talked about that Merle Hay Mall that is ridiculously haunted. And we already got an invite to go out there, which is really cool. And thank you for that. Hopefully that translates into actually happening. But when really Adam talked to the people who brought it up originally, and there was like 3 of them there at that one time. But over the course of the weekend, we had 4 different people talk about that mall. And, they'd be like, it kind of got comical because they'd be like, what you need to check out. And we'd all be in unison, Merle Hay Mall, because we knew exactly what they're talking about. And it looks pretty cool. So I hope we get in there, Adam.
I hope so too. One of the individuals we were talking to, he got to talking about it. He whips out his cell phone. And I think he showed me about a half dozen or so really interesting photos from there as well. And he did what I really like a lot of folks do when they take pictures. He took them all in a row and, was able to flip back and forth with the timestamps. And it's like, there's nothing there. 2 pictures later, there's something there. Next picture after that, nothing there.
Yeah.
Great photos, some eerie photos, and some of the stories I was reading afterwards. That place sounds like it is very interesting. There's a story about dolls that move, and it seems like a place that you could definitely lose yourself in. So definitely go with the group because it's a very big location.
A couple things that they said about this, we touched on this on Friday, was that is believed, and I don't know if this is like unsubstantiated lore, because the thing is, it's like, this is stuff that you could look up, but they said it is believed that the mall was built upon a monastery. And you're like, that's sort of like a, kind of a, just some sort of like, whispers that did that really happen or not? And that should be something that should be easily figured out. But then they talk about the lower level of the mall that has a lot of retails that no one really knows about, no one's really allowed in. And it just reminds me of, we talked about this place before, Apache Plaza in St. Anthony. And I may have mentioned this story before, but when I started at Carlson True Value at Apache Plaza, I knew this mall my whole life. I mean, I grew up in St. Anthony, so it was always, 7-8 blocks from me. And so I remember it in its heyday when there were offices and like dental and medical down in the basement of a department store called Murphy's. And now Murphy's is where Carlson True Value moved into after the tornado hit it. And the first night I was there, Kevin, who is about my age, and he had been there for a while, when we went to go and like take out the garbage for the day, instead we went down into the basement that no one has been into for, it's not public access, let's put it that way. And walking through there, first of all the debris from the tornado, they bulldozed into part of the basement and then put a new floor over it. So that's how they took care of that part of it. But the offices, the law office or the medical offices still were down there. And we came across a part of it that was some candles, pentagram, and some roses. And they were all fresh. And it was like, well, where did this come from? I mean, that was incredible. And so that was something that we, I never thought of. Now, part of, you never know if Kevin did this, but his response, unless he's a good actor, was kind of like, I think we should get out of here, like it's time to go. So yeah, that was interesting. And I'll never forget that. Why don't we do this? So let's go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, we have a lot of stuff to get to. We want to talk about what's chasing Adam in the station, because clearly there is something. And is it animal or spirit or manimal? We don't know. We're going to find out. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950.
Greg Bakken here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
Greg Bakken here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations, exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information.
Are you one of thousands of individuals who know you have psychic abilities but don't know how to tap into your higher self? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who offers classes that can help you reach your goals. Refined Divine holds classes Monday and Thursday at her 2 locations and via Zoom. Classes consist of manifestation, learning psychic abilities, shadow work, and healing trauma. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
This is Psychic Medium Deb. You can go to refinedivinepsychic.com.
And join me tomorrow on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakken. We're going to be doing a replay tomorrow as we're kind of settling the dust a little bit from all the business stuff that we've been doing all week. It's odd. So much stuff that's been going on, which is all about GhostBox Radio, has kind of kept me from GhostBox Radio for a couple weeks. Very interesting, but we're letting the dust settle. So tomorrow's a replay. Friday, we're going to be live from the Ecto Cruise in Baraboo, Wisconsin. That's going to be a lot of fun. Monday, we're going to have on author Jason Mankey, and we're going to be talking about his book, High Priest Raymond Buckland, the Father of American Witchcraft, which is published through Llewellyn Publishing. It's going to be a really very exciting episode, so definitely check that out. It's going to be a great conversation there, and we are just kind of going over some stuff that's been happening over the last couple of weeks, kind of catching up with everybody because we haven't really done a lot of new shows lately, and I feel bad about that. But tonight you had a situation at the station, didn't you?
Yeah, tonight was interesting. About 9:30ish, about a half hour or so before the show starts, I go into the studio as I always do, at about the half hour mark before, get everything set up for the show, kind of try to get myself ready for the show as well, do my breathing exercises. And as I'm sitting here, I hear a giant metallic bang. And the bang sounds like, so in the back of the transmitter room, there are these troughs that have metal lids on top of them because there's a lot of wiring that goes in underneath.
Yep.
And it legit sounded like either someone dropped something on one of the metal troughs or it had lifted up and then like someone picked it up to mess around in there and put it back down. I hear that. So of course I grabbed my phone and I hit record. And I walk back to the transmitter room. And of course, we're on a swamp. So I make sure to turn the light on in the transmitter room. Just first of all, to make sure it's not a snake or a rat or a mouse or whatever might be coming up out of the swamp.
Reptoid.
Exactly. Zuckerberg. He could be there. So, flip on the lights, got the camera going, and nothing looks out of place at all. So it's like, okay, it was metallic. So I stomped down on one of the metal troughs and the exact sound that I heard. And the weird thing is the room itself felt, and when I texted you, I put busy in quotes.
Yeah.
It was like, if you ever been into a workspace where you're like coming in to drop something off and everybody's buzzing around you and you're just like, I'm just here to drop this off for so-and-so. That's what it felt like I was in the way of something.
Just like during the day, every day when we work with you. So
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that's good to know. No, in all seriousness, that's pretty incredible, actually. So you're thinking that there is people work. I mean, it just some sort of in energy wise is what you mean by busy, right? Busy energy, and that's incredible. That's
like
really
walk back and it's like instant ADHD. Like I just need to do this and go, that type of thing.
Right.
And that's exactly how it felt. Walking back there.
No, and no matter, I think no matter what level of paranormal you're into, how long you've been doing it, if you're alone and you just hear something that you just really can't, you can't explain, but you do know that sound. There's something to that. That's not easy to be in. I mean, it just because you're always wondering what is that. And at our place, it could be a lot of different things, quite honestly. And so I mean, just there's a lot of unknown there. So it gets a little weird sometimes. It really does.
Yeah, it does get strange around here, but I was proud of myself. I didn't
You
yell
didn't-
out the obligatory hello the first time I heard it. I waited till I got back in the back room.
You didn't wet your pants or anything?
Just a little this
Oh,
time.
no, that's
I'm
all
doing
right.
better. I'm
Yeah,
doing much better.
So you brought up dolls at the Merle Hay Mall.
Yes.
And Savannah says, I don't know how I feel about moving dolls. And Marine says, no moving dolls for me either. Next level creepy. I'm going to be honest, though, that I think that is urban legend about the dolls, because I think that, I mean, I don't know this, but I feel like that is something that people can easily move around unless there's a camera in there showing these things moving by themselves, which I pray there is. Then I'm going to call that urban legend. I saw that everywhere that I read about the mall, but that just seems too obvious of a thing to put in there, in my opinion.
But if they move, I would love to see it.
Oh yeah.
Not live. I mean, I would like to see the tape of it. I don't want to be personally in there.
Yeah, you
because
do. Come
you know
on.
how much I dislike dolls.
Come on, where's your spirit of adventure? You wouldn't like the Clown Hotel either up in Nevada. Clowns that are also dolls. It's really not your place, I would think.
No, I would hide behind you the entire time.
Right by the mitzvah. Well, I'm waiting for Annabelle here. I mean, she's not really Annabelle. She's something else. I'm waiting for her to fall, or attack me or jump on me, and it's so far not. People have said, though, that they truly believe, based on her shadow behind her, that they think that she's moved. And I'm not one to really kind of go with that myself, but if you see it, let me know. Give me a timestamp. I'll go back and take a look at it. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's funny though, because as I have mentioned in the past, I have a pair of French doors in the studio, and every time I'll shut the door or something, and I'm on my couch in the living room, which is right adjacent to it, her face lines up perfectly, with like in the middle of one of the windows every time. And you're like, my God, how are you doing that? Like, are you watching me? And she is, actually, I think.
I think she's moving her head. Not currently, but
no, not currently, but maybe. Linda in the comments says, Greg, do you think you've spent a long time near the place you were born? I came all the way from Texas to live in California. I mean, it depends on what you mean by close, but I mean, I've been in Minnesota my whole life. I grew up I was born in Northeast Minneapolis, and we moved out to St. Anthony. But my family was always in Northeast. And over the past, I don't know, especially really when the show came on, I've been out in Northeast quite a bit for various reasons, and all to do with the show. We went out to a couple theaters out here to try to do some investigations. Rogue Buddha Gallery is out there with my buddy who owns it, and I was interviewed last year for the Northeaster, which is the Northeast paper out there, and we did that at his place at the Rogue Buddha Gallery. So I consider myself that I do spend a fair amount of time there. I will say also that this week I went out for those in the Twin Cities, I think you'll know where I'm talking about. I went out to Central Avenue in Minneapolis because I went out to visit my friends over at Megas Books, and they moved. They're up the road now. I'm gonna get their address here real fast, but where they moved to, which is just a really nice location on Central Avenue. And they're at 2520 Central Avenue now, and they're open for business. 2520 Central Avenue, Megas Books. But growing up in that area, I'm like, this place is very familiar. And my aunt and uncle owned a paint store there, Rikuski Paints, from the 1950s to the 1990s. And I thought Magus was in that store. I thought, oh my gosh, no way. Turns out they're right next door to where Rikuski Paints was. And now Rikuski Paints is actually a barber shop. And so after I was done with Liz over at Magus, and please go visit because the store looks great. And I think there's going to be a lot of good stuff happening there as well. We're going to get her back on again soon too. I go over to the barber shop and I go in there, and how I know that it's truly the place is, for some reason, the store had, when you walk in, maybe about 10-15 feet as you walk in, there's a stairwell that goes down to the basement that no one goes to because the store is on the main level. And that was always kind of a creepy location as well. And the thing is that I went in, and there was that stairwell at the barber shop, and the guy comes up to me and was like, "Do you have an appointment?" Like, I have an appointment to see if this is my aunt and uncle's paint store. And he laughed, and he let me take a look around and stuff. And I haven't been in there since the early 1990s. And back when I was younger, I was there all the time. I worked there for a while, helping out, doing odd jobs and stuff. So that is something else. Linda says, the reason I asked about the longevity of your life in Minnesota, do you think that you have developed a love of the land? I don't know where this is going. I mean, I love land. I don't know. I mean, yes. I mean, I've never wanted to move. I mean, like, you moved. You got out of where you were, and you came up to Minnesota. So,
and I will say about that, I feel more connected to Minnesota than I ever did to Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
So it was almost like an instant love as soon as I got here.
Yeah.
It literally felt like home, which Indiana never felt like to me.
It's interesting. Someday you should do a past life regression.
God, I was, ever since we had Casey Constance on, I have been wanting to do one so bad.
Yeah, she's great. She really is good. Yeah, I mean, you never know. You never know what you're going to find out from that stuff. And I think the thing that I think people don't always realize is that you may only find out some of it. You may not get it all at one chunk. So, but she is really good at that. And yeah, I mean, the only time I really considered moving was, for a while, I actually thought I was going to move to the UK. And the only reason why I didn't end up going there was my mom was horribly upset over it. She wouldn't talk to me. She was so mad that I was going to leave the country that she wouldn't talk to me. And I was just like, oh, God, I can't put up with this. So I changed my mind, and I don't know. I mean, some people look back at that, they're like, yeah, that was a good decision, whatever. I don't know what was going to happen, but part of me is that we do that I was going through an agency to try to find a job, and they wanted to move me to Manchester, England. And Manchester at the time, it might still be a little bit, but it got redeveloped quite a bit. Manchester was pretty much a very rough place to live. Mm-hmm. And now it's better. And it's kind of like Birmingham, which I've been to many times. And Birmingham, people think, like, when I said I'd go to the UK over Christmas, they think like Charles Dickens is going to decorate your street. No, this is a very working class environment, and it's great, but it's very diverse, very working class, and areas can be very rough, and people don't see that as well. Dave is letting us know also, go to refinedivinepsychic.com, and Deb does past life regressions as well, which I didn't know that, actually. So I appreciate that. So definitely, going to go to her to get a reading, go to her to get a past life regression as well. So let's see. Linda says, I guess we're going to keep going with this Linda track of the program tonight. My first primary care physician came from Iran, and she had a poem in her office that spoke of the love of the land as being sacrosanct. I don't know what that feels like. So Linda, what you're saying is that you haven't found that that I don't want to say pride, because it's a different thing than pride, right? It's that belonging. Is that what we're saying here? That belonging to where you live. And Adam has found it in Minnesota. I feel like that I have found it, even when I do these travels. And I don't know, Adam, when you traveled back from Des Moines and you crossed the border into Minnesota, when I crossed the border in Minnesota, my first thought is not even thinking about it. I'm just like, I'm home.
Yep, exactly. And I even verbalize it. It's like, finally home.
Yeah. And, nothing against Iowa. It's just like, I'm home. This is where I belong. I still have another 2 hours to drive, but I'm home now. This is where I belong.
It feels like the air feels lighter. You just feel, I don't know, I feel a little less apprehensive every time I cross back into the Minnesota border.
Now, remember, I had to stop in Charles City to get 94 VHS off-air recordings of Doctor Who. And I'm not kidding. And I met this guy named Daryl, and he was fantastic. And it's one of the things that I absolutely, it was a great exchange. He's a great guy, and I'm looking forward to kind of keeping in contact with him. To close the loop on this, Linda says, you're so astute, Greg. You get to the point. I guess I'm looking for a home. I hope you find it, Linda. You are a beautiful, beautiful person who deserves to have that. And I truly, truly hope that you do that. You get there. So let's do that. We're running out of time here. This was fun. It's, Adam, it's always fun to be back after not being on for a while. So
it really is.
And tonight I'm home. I'm in my studio and I love it. Folks, tomorrow night it's going to be a replay. This time it's been picked by Brett. I don't know what it is. Friday, live from Ecto Cruise, Baraboo. Everyone, thank you so very much. Have a fantastic evening. We'll see you Friday. And just make sure that you join us and comment. We'll see you then. Take care, everybody.